Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of What Remains of Edith Finch. It's your boy Karagol Gaming, and you know how we do things around here. So we finished up Milton's story right here. Next, I reckon we shall go back down because there doesn't seem to be anything else here for us.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Why did she seal the doors though?
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Is that right? So I suppose we backtrack. I can't get out. You are having a giggle. You must be. Surely you must be. Is that where my journey is gonna end? I wonder.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
So we have options. Let's see what we got.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room. Except Louis.
Well. Was that hookah?
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That
that
part
like
of him lived on.
Super Nintendo?
Louis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Relatable. What you got here, bro? To Dawn Finch. Institute of Psychology.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
What the fuck? Okay.
He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind
nuts.
began to
Deteriorate? His mind began to what?
wander.
Oh. Eventually.
I
Oh.
asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats.
What? Bats? The fuck is that?
And things that have no
Aerodactyl?
names.
That clearly has a
He
name.
knew it was all in his head.
Huh. Nice! Dude, that's creative as fuck. Is that gonna
He
burn
took
me?
it very
No.
seriously.
This is
I had
awesome.
hoped he'd find himself.
Fucking fish? You need to vamoose, son of a bitch. There you go. This is crazy. I
But he
fucks
found
with it.
something more.
Bonfires. Oh.
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery,
He's gonna lose his hand, isn't
I
he?
spoke with his boss. But he said Louis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
That was my bad.
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Hey, buddy. I can't pet him.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick.
You know, as you do.
Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something.
If a motherfucker with a vuvuzela comes out, that's where the story ends.
Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery.
He was busy,
His
mate.
chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the
Just-
cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Whee!
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering.
I gotta go to Crossbow, mate. Ah, shit. Can't live Lewistopia, mate. Where are you gonna go
Conquer
now?
a city, then immediately push on. New Lewis heard.
Of course.
St. Louis.
Nice.
He started drifting away from our reality.
No Lewis. Los Lewis.
Minneapolis. Until one day he
Nice.
forgot to go home from the cannery.
Oh.
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Take your hand. Time to go choppy chop, mother.
In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a
Handsome queen. What?
handsome queen.
Excuse me?
The queen was on her own quest for
I guess.
sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her
Ooh, electric sitar sounds nice.
electric sitar.
Oh man, it was high as a kite.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Is that enough fucking fish, mate? Has to be a reward for all of this.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Is it the luminary?
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Where did she go?
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Okay. So, I guess I'm leaving the cannery now. This has to be my locker. I was about to say, does he have a... that switch light?
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Oh no. So you're gonna kill the fake image of you? Is that what you're trying to say?
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Are you okay, bro?
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
That's creepy.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
Oh my god.
Bend down his head.
Oh fuck. Bro. Was this the beginning of Skyrim?
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Wow.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Fuck. Oh, okay. Shit, man. This game is starting to weigh me down. I can't believe it took me this long to play through it, though.
Funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell
Whoa.
Edie.
What was that?
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
Okay.
But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
To Teach and to Learn by Dawn Finch. Huh.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Tell me about it, dude.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
She didn't know about this. I don't know about all that.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
So whatever she
We'll have
writes
the nursing home send a van for you in the morning.
becomes reality?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
Oh.
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
But that day was the
I never
only
thought
day.
I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Ah, this is more than a fog, mate. What the hell?
I got turned around.
No, it didn't. Where's the... Just give me a... little red signal or something. And we'll all be hunky-dory.
For a while, I wondered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
Maybe.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go. I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you.
Oh my god.
But now I hope you'll never see it.
She's giving birth.
I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself.
I'm going back in.
But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Fuck me, that was beautiful. It's like I said, I can't believe that it took me this long to play through this game. But I'm very glad that I did. Because it was a thoroughly enjoyable experience, and if you haven't played through it on your own, somehow, then I recommend you to do so. Now, I picked this game up at a point where it was free on PSN many months ago. But I would say if you find this game on a discount or for cheap, you should definitely pick it up. And I can't imagine it being that expensive either, so it might be worth going the full price for it. I probably missed tons of stuff, but I don't know if I'm gonna go back to it in a Let's Play format. Instead, what we got here was my initial reactions to this game, and there wasn't much input from my side, to be honest. Some games you just have to hitch along for the ride, you know what I'm saying? You can't riff off a game, you can't be all jokey when the subject matter is what it is. And the narration was downright gorgeous. I mean, this is graphically gorgeous, and the narration was beautiful. Eloquently put. Thanks, Johan. So if you enjoyed this playthrough, it's a very short, bite-sized type of project. If you enjoyed this playthrough, and you have other games of similar ilk, I guess you could say, feel free to recommend them down in the comment section below, and if you would like me to cover them. Because, as you know, we love a good story around here. And this right here, it scratched that itch for sure. So with that said, I'm not gonna talk too much longer, man. I hope you all enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys for a different project. And until then, this has been your boy Karagol Gaming, man. I'm out of here. Love y'all. Deuces.